me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and start with the first topic. The first thing we have is Xbox Series S. Is that supposed to be the best console this Christmas? Like, is that gonna be exactly what everybody is getting? You know, little Billy under the Christmas tree is gonna get this Series S, man. what's the deal, right?
Dude, like, okay, I'll say a couple things about this. Like, first and foremost, like, I'm happy. Like, I'm really happy.
You're
Like,
happy?
I'm pretty ecstatic about this because the reason why I'm ecstatic about it is
Mm-hmm.
because I think this means a lot of Game Pass subscribers. And like when there's lots of Game Pass subscribers, that means
We're gonna
that I
get
think
more.
Game Pass will get more, and not just
Yeah.
that, Game Pass will stick around for the long haul. And so this kind of
It's
thing, like,
It's here to stay, man. I don't think
well,
it's just
no,
going anywhere.
I don't know, man. Like I heard, like we've talked before. We've done other stories, right, where Game Pass was like they were down a certain percentage, or they weren't selling as many subscriptions as they had projected. And so,
Mhm.
like, I was a little concerned that if they don't increase these numbers, that there could be because they're spending so much. Like they're spending so much money to secure some of these games on Game Pass that I was like, I don't know if they can keep this up because we
Mhm.
talked before that even though like Microsoft has endless pockets, that they aren't giving Phil Spencer endless money. Like he's budgeted.
Yeah, he's
You know
not. He
that they
doesn't
have
have
a
the budget.
budget. You know
Yeah.
that he's budgeted, and he has to make profits based within that budget line, right? So I was a little concerned that if they're losing money or losing
Jeez.
subscriptions, then that it could hurt their success. But basically, this really bodes well for me. I think Microsoft has really done a great job here in the sense that they actually have a console that's available for people to purchase. Like Sony, this sucks for Sony
Mhm.
because people are going out there and they want to buy next gen this holiday season. And
Yeah.
Sony does not have a console for these people. And
Yeah, it's
Microsoft,
a major problem, man. I
like
mean, how do
maybe
you?
Microsoft does for maybe Microsoft doesn't have Series S's for Series X's, but they have a
Yeah, they
next
don't
gen
have. They
console.
have a console, right? I mean,
Yeah,
even if PlayStation was able to have the digital PS5s out there, that
and
would
they
have been
sell.
just as good.
Yep,
You know what I mean? They would have
yep.
probably sold more. But it's like when people are looking for any of the next gen consoles, and all you can find is S is sitting on the shelf. It's like, well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get this then. You know?
Yeah,
And
but see, the thing is, like Arachnid says, with 20 million subs, Microsoft could send out 5 million per month to get games on Game Pass. That's nothing.
yeah.
We talked about like what was it when it cost them like some odd tens of millions just to get Tomb Raider exclusivity. I think it
Mm.
costs a lot more than 5 million a month, man, to get big name games. Like all the Yakuza's. You're talking about like all these games, all these big name games, day one on
Hmm.
Game Pass, MLB the Show. This stuff is costing a lot more than five mil a month, right? So I don't think that's near enough money, not even close. And also to develop games on top of that, 5 mil a month, like that's chump change, I would say.
Yeah, I got a question about that comment right there, though. So
Uh,
you're saying the best console experience you can have right now is the top tier Xbox and a Game Pass subscription. So are you meaning like your options and whatnot? Because even I mean, even though Xbox has plenty of options and stuff like that on the Game Pass, I still feel like if you have a PlayStation 5, you're getting the better experience on the PS5. But
Wait, what did you say,
what
Stone?
do
You
you
said
think?
what? You said what?
Um,
When do you
he's
when do you have a better experience in the PS5?
I'm saying like as far as like the games that the PS5 has and stuff like that. Like I feel like I have a better experience on the PS5 than I do on the Xbox.
See,
I mean, there's
I would tend to agree with this with Arachnid. I actually
really
agree with this comment.
okay.
I think generally speaking, the
Hmm.
best console experience on the planet right now is a Series X with Game Pass. I agree with that actually,
So
because
why though?
I agree with that like wholeheartedly, because I think that there are so many really good games that you can play right now on Xbox that will keep you plenty entertained for only $10 a month. Like to me, that is about as mind-boggling. It's like this. Imagine, dude, Stone, we were kids again, right? Like we were kids, and imagine we could play almost any game we wanted at the rental store, and our moms could buy us a pass to the rental store for $10, and that's all it cost mom a month. And we can rent as frequently and as often as many as we wanted, as long as we wanted, any games in the game store. We would think as kids we entered heaven, right? We just entered like the promised land, and like heaven has arrived, right?
Yeah,
And
but you wouldn't even be
that
able to play the greatest game of the year.
I'm just saying that is such an incredible thing. What Game Pass is, it's beyond anything we've ever really had in gaming. It's like the next step in the gaming ecosystem that
So
I can't even tell you how incredible of a deal it is. I love it so much that I almost want to become an exclusive Xbox gamer because there's more games on there than I can.
bro, you crazy. You tripping, man. You tripping, dude.
But what I mean by that is I'm at a time in my life, man, where I can't play a lot of games. Like I
Okay.
can't play a lot of games, and so
So
I'm
if you
getting so
can't,
much
but wait,
game
if you
for
can't play a lot
$10.
of games, then what good is having a plethora, an expansive library if you can't even play that many? Why not
Because
just play a couple of quality good games for that year?
because for $10 a month, I mean, I can play like a game a month, right? I can play like a game a month. That's like 12 games a year. I'm not talking about like 3 games a year. I'm talking about like a dozen games a year. And so for 10
Mm-hmm.
bucks a month, I can play some very top-notch, high-quality games throughout the
Mm-hmm.
course of the year for 10 bucks a month. Like,
Well, I mean,
and
I
look at
would I would
and
put
my
that
gaming.
in response with Soul's comment about it being more bang for your buck. I agree with that
Well, what I'm
100%.
saying is, I knock out my entire gaming addiction, my entire gaming hobby for ten
Uh-huh.
dollars a month. Name any hobby on the planet where you can basically satisfy a hobby for 10 bucks a month. Like that is unheard of. And not just that, you're getting really good games too. Like Halo, you're getting really, really good games, man. Like it's not,
Well,
all
you
those
talk you
AAA
mentioned something
studio
that hasn't
games.
come out yet though, but yeah.
No, some of these haven't come out yet, but I'm talking about like, I've been having a lot of fun with Game Pass. Like just a ton of fun with Game Pass.
So I mean, I enjoy having Game Pass to an extent, but I do find myself like, damn, like I don't have anything really to play. You know what I mean? Like if I look at like if I there's a lot of stuff that if I hadn't tried it yet on Game Pass, it's probably because I'm probably not going to. So it's like I'm always looking at what's the new stuff that they're putting on Game Pass. And a lot of the new stuff is like indie games. And that's cool. I like indie games, but sometimes you just want something a little bit more polished or a little larger or something like that. And it's just like I find myself like I'll go through all of the new stuff on Game Pass. Like I was actually that's why today I was literally like, okay, I beat 8 Resident Evil 8 all last weekend. So I was trying to find something else to play. And then I'm like, okay, what am I going to play? So it's like, I didn't have anything new. I guess I could have gone back to Watch Dogs Legions or something like that, but everything that I had was just leading me to go back to the PlayStation. Like I went and I looked through all the stuff, but like I wasn't compelled to play like Mortal Shell again. And
Yeah, but here's
then
what
there
I'm
was like some
saying.
other stuff.
But here's what I'm saying. A lot of the games that you're playing, that you're buying, this is what I mean by Xbox only. Is because a lot of the games that you're buying, you can also buy on the Xbox. Like you could have got Resident Evil 8 for 20 on Xbox. You could have got the Xbox version of Watch Dogs. You could have got a lot of the games that we play right now. You can play on both consoles. There isn't a ton of games on the PlayStation that you can't get on the Xbox, which is why the Xbox is doing a really good job right now because a lot of the games that you can play are available on Xbox and you get their exclusives like Halo, which comes out next week, things
Mm-hmm.
like that, and so for me,
Yeah,
it satisfies well enough.
I still don't know. Like, if I didn't have the option to play Deathloop, I'd be like super disappointed, man. Because Deathloop was a great game, and that's like my game of the year. You know what I mean? That's nominated as game of the year.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
you'll get
like
to
all
play
of
that
those
next year
people.
for free on Game Pass.
Yeah, next year though. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's nominated this year. You know what I mean? There's gonna be something else that's, uh a possible game of the year or whatever next year. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll be mentally comparing those or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I got a chance to play that one this year, and then there's a couple of other games that, have come out, solely on the PlayStation
Mhm.
that, like Ratchet and Clank, possible ones like Kenna. I didn't purchase Kenna over Black Friday or anything like that, but I did want to. That's been a game that I've wanted to play. But it's just like one of those that I have the option, but if I didn't have a PlayStation 5, I wouldn't. But I do agree that the Xbox is, bar none, more bang for your buck, especially if you're getting a Series S. And on top of that, like, they've finally put the cloud thing onto the game console, so you don't have to download everything. So now hard drive space is no longer an issue. So it just changes the way you look at an S now. You know what I mean? It's like 1080p is good enough. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't want to drop like mad ducats on a console, $500 on a console, $300 is solid. You know what I mean? You pay more for an iPad than you do, for that
Yeah, and
S.
you're gonna get all the like quality of life features on the Series X. Like it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
probably just as snappy as the X is.
Yeah.
You're just not gonna have quite the same resolutions and
Right.
frame rates on every game, but you're
Right.
gonna be just as snappy, dude. I love it when I turn my Xbox on and it's instantaneously load. Like there's no waiting. Like because I used to have the Xbox One X, the One X,
Right.
in my living room. And when
Right.
I wanted to watch like Netflix or something, I would click it on, and you have to sit and wait for that screen. The Xbox screen just sits there for like a good 58 seconds. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like this my Series X, I click it and I'm on in like literally 4 seconds, and I can just instantly fire up an app and I'm on. It's like the speed difference is just mind-boggling better, and that than the old consoles like PS4, the Xbox One. Now the
Yeah.
Series S is going to be just like that. It's going to be such a fun, sweet, snappy experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really worth $300. It's so worth it. But I mean, like
Right.
every next gen console is worth it. The Series X
Yeah.
is worth 500. The PS5 was worth 500. The PS4, the PS5 digital is worth 400. Like they're all incredible consoles, regardless of the price point. They're all incredible. And I just think
Yeah.
like and what I mean like Xbox Game Pass, it is the most bang for your buck, like you're saying it is. Just objectively, it is, right? Just objective. It's an objective fact. That's the most bang for your buck. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also satisfying. Like the games on there are very, very satisfying. Like I
There's
went back and
definitely some solid ones on there.
I played Prey for the first time, and that was one of the funnest experiences I had all year. For me, right on par with Deathloop. I mean, it's made by the same people that made Deathloop. The same
Right.
exact studio made
Arcane.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Arcane made it, and it feels just as good as Deathloop. Well, it should. I mean, the same people just made it, and I had never been on that radar, right? Like,
Mm.
so going back and like playing lots of these games, I downloaded Yakuza Zero, like that just
Oh.
came out, like I think last year, and it's like it had like an 85. It was very high.
Yeah.
It's the
I've never
highest.
been really too interested in the Yakuza games,
Well,
but
I never played any of them. Like I don't
yeah.
know if they're any good. Like I never played Prey. I remember when Prey came out, I thought it was a scary game, and I told you how I avoid scary games. But I was actually like glad I played it because it was much more like Dead Space than it was like
Yeah.
Biohazard. Much
Yeah, it
more,
was definitely like Dead
right? It was
Space.
not a jump scare. And like I loved every minute of it. The world was so interesting, the exploration, the space was just so well done. And I'm just like I would have never played that without Game Pass. Like I would have never played that game without Game Pass. And so
Yeah,
like
and
Game Pass
like
is just
Soul.
so satisfying.
Yeah, and like Soul is saying, like, he's going into his backlog and stuff like that. So, not getting him at launch and stuff like that. Like, I understand, dude. I mean, even with like all of this stuff, me having both consoles or whatever, like, I have to pick and choose what I'm gonna spend my money on, right? So I have to decide, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna buy this one game and not buy both of these games, and which one do I want to, lose which one do I not want to play right now? And I'll probably have to wait like a long ass time before I play it. So, but I mean, PlayStation 5 has hella shit on their backlog, dude. I mean, if you just, I mean, even just PlayStation in general, but I mean, if you get a PlayStation 5, you get like 12 games, that you have access to off rip. And a lot of them are like solid fucking games. So
Mhm.
if you haven't played any of them, like I had never played Monster Hunter, so boom, that was another one. I think that I don't know if Resident Evil Biohazard wasn't on that one, was it?
I think it was. Yeah, I think
Okay,
Biohazard
yeah,
was.
it might have been on there. So, but I mean, they had like a lot of the solid ones. You know, they had God of War and all of that stuff. So if you never had a PlayStation in your life, and then you just like, oh, okay, I'm finally gonna buy a PlayStation first time, you got a lot of shit you can go into and play.
Yeah, I
It's just
think
a lot of
like
stuff.
no, yeah, I agree. I think you can have a good time on the PS5 if that's all you had. So what I'm saying is, what I mean by is I can't. I'm in a place in my life where I can't play. What I mean is like I don't really have the time to like be playing everything that comes out on like both consoles. Like
Yeah,
that's what's really
I
hard.
don't.
It's hard.
I don't have the
Like
time either.
I know,
it's,
like that's
it's
what I'm
work.
saying. Like I
If this
agree,
could
man.
be my
Like
job, then I'd have plenty of time. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Then we'd have time to play everything. But it's like I
yeah.
do feel like like you were saying, I'm picking and choosing. And so what I'm
Mhm.
saying is like I feel like I would be just fine if I became an Xbox exclusive player. I feel like I would be just fine with the amount of games that I get and play from Xbox Game Pass for
Mhm.
just $10 a month. Like that's
Yeah,
what's
I
awesome to
mean,
me about Game Pass. Not only is it the best bang for my buck, but it's the most it satisfies the hobby in its totality. It satisfies it very well.
yeah, I mean, if you look at like the list of games that have come out for the PlayStation 5, I think they only got maybe like a total of like 5 or so, maybe I'd say maybe no more than 10 exclusives out this, over this their launch up until now. So you wouldn't really be missing out on much. There wasn't a whole lot of like, awesome shit, but there was some solid stuff. You know what I mean? You got Demon
Mhm.
Souls. You got what's the fucking? You got Godfall. You got Deathloop. Kenna, a couple other ones. But so you're not really missing out on much because of all of the other big third party titles that are available on everything. So, I mean, yeah, you'd be doing solid. I mean, yeah, thankfully you'll be able to play Deathloop next year on the Xbox. But it's just like I loved that experience, man. I might end up playing it again a second time around on the Xbox just to see if they've fixed the being the woman and playing her. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That might be all I focus on is just
The
playing her
network
and
issue.
getting her character
Yeah,
up. Yeah,
the
because like
network issue.
I feel like
Yeah.
everybody was always Felicia. They were never Colt. So like I couldn't hop in on many people's games. So I feel like on Xbox I would probably just do hers. All I did was Colt's and I finished the story and got him good. But I think I would do Felicia's or whatever her name is. I would do her side of the story on the Xbox just because it probably because it's free on Game Pass. There's probably a shitload more people playing it, and then they might have already fixed that network issue and stuff like that going.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man. So I mean, it's definitely it seems like obvious that the Series S would be the one of the bigger consoles because everybody was super stoked to get the OLED. Nintendo Switch and things like that. So them bitches gonna be bought out. It's hard as fuck to find a PS5 or a Series X in general. And then they come out with limited edition consoles, which make it even harder to acquire. So it just seems
Yeah,
like
I just
Xbox found that perfect pocket. You
I
know what I
just
mean
think
with the
yeah, this
S.
is huge because the holiday season is when everyone buys everything for their kids,
Yeah.
and so it's like basically it's like people are going okay, when they buy the Series S, they're kind of committing. They're kind of committing to a generation and a brand in that generation. Most people, I think, Marcus, are not like you and I, who buy every console out. They
Mhm.
get one and that's all their parents buy
Yeah,
them.
that's what they're gonna get. Yeah,
They're just
that's what
going to
they're
be
gonna
on an
start with.
Xbox. And seeing like Series S, people are like, okay, this is the only thing that's available to buy that's new, that's next gen. So we're
That
just
Steam
gonna
Deck
buy
is
in.
expensive as fuck. Yeah.
We're gonna buy in, and you buy in, and it becomes the number one console that way in
Yeah.
America at least. Like it's not gonna be the number one console overseas for sure, but in America, it's gonna be the number one console. And so it's like that's really good for Game Pass, man. And I think like it means like it's gonna be like what I'm thinking is like buy stock in Game Pass, dude. It's gonna
And
be the next
Microsoft.
Netflix, dude. And like that's crazy, right? Yeah, or even
Yeah, I
Microsoft,
mean,
right? Like that's nuts because Um, there was a
Yeah,
story I
it's
heard from
definitely.
a guy. He said maybe you saw that was on his YouTube video, and he had saved up till he was like 25 to buy a home. He had like 50 grand, and he really
Mhm.
wanted to buy a home really badly. And his dad was like, "No, don't buy a home, don't buy a home." And he went and bought it. And he's like, "No." His dad kept telling him that he shouldn't buy a home, that he should put every dime he had into Netflix. And this was back in like
Oh
like
shit!
20 years ago. And he said
Yeah.
had he listened to his dad and put that 50 grand into Netflix, he would have like $5 million or something like that now. Like huge. He would have been a millionaire. And it's
But he's
like
got a house though.
he's got a house, but I'm just saying like that's crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
trying to find the next Netflix is like, that's awesome. And I just know I feel like Game Pass, that's the future. And I think we're gonna talk about it. And I think Sony is realizing that. It is the future. It hands down is the future.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, it's the future.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. But I did want to say Arachnid Soul's comment. He said a Steam Deck and a Game Pass for PC is all you would need for a kid. They can have that for years. I think that would be solid, but that Steam Deck's pretty fucking pricey,
It is
you know.
expensive. Both of
So
those, that would be hard. You just need a
yeah,
game.
that would be
Actually, all you need is a Steam Deck. Because if you have a Steam Deck, then you basically have access to Game Pass, so you don't really need an Xbox.
well, no, he's saying Game Pass for PC and a Steam Deck is all you need. So get the Steam Deck would be your console.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
Game Pass
yeah.
would be
I
your
agree
link
with
to all the
that.
games and
I
stuff.
agree with
Yeah,
that. You would. That's all you would need.
yeah,
That'd be all you need because you can hook that Game Pass. I mean that Steam Deck into your television. It could be a
yeah.
console too.
You good to
It's
go,
not
man.
just handheld. So it's like
Yeah.
that would be that's why we were blowing our lid with the Steam Deck. We were blowing our
Right.
top.
It's just wicked, man.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. But click the next topic.
I love you, me.